What's up everybody, my name is Jay and welcome back to my Tech Vault, and today I want to talk about some of the biggest disappointments of 2018. Now since this is the last day of 2018, I really wanted to make a video first off wishing everybody a happy New Year's, but also talk about some of the biggest disappointments of this last year. And I want to go through and kind of just give my personal opinion, and I'm going to explain why they were disappointments. Obviously these are opinions and no hurt feelings, it's just everyone has a right to be disappointed about certain things, and I want to take today's video just kind of talk and work through this. So tomorrow I'm also going to be doing a video talking about my predictions on what I think is going to be releasing, so that might be a video if you're interested in that kind of stuff to check out. So first off, let's talk about at the beginning of this year. We had the AMD Ryzen 2000 series. Now obviously there are some really good and bad parts to this. First off, I was slightly disappointed, and this is not by far any big disappointment. I was kind of slightly disappointed. I was expecting a little bit more higher clock speed increases, but they did solve a lot of the problems behind the scenes, like memory controllers, and a lot of the stuff you didn't see. So I really understand that. I understand why there wasn't a substantial clock speed increase. I understand there was a lot of other small fixes that they added on, and they basically patched up a lot of the issues with the original Zen architecture. So I understand that, and to be honest, I'm actually pretty happy that they, for the Ryzen 2700X, they added a really nice cooler, probably the best stock cooler I've seen in a long time. So they actually did something good there. They added something extra, and they included coolers with all the processors. So overall, I think they made up for it, and I don't think AMD really did anything bad. I think I was just slightly disappointed in the clock speeds. That was about it. Then we move on to the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2000 series. Now, I've got to make a couple comments about this. So first off, my biggest disappointment was of course the price of these products, because everyone was looking forward to, and they're waiting and waiting. I've known a lot of people that have been waiting for maybe a year to wait for these new cards to release, to buy something, and they release and they're double if not triple the price of some of the, actually about double what the top 10 series card was. The top 20 series card is double that. And so the price is pretty insane. Okay, and the performance is about what you get from a previous the performance is about what you'd get from increasing by a generation. Usually, you look at the past, maybe 20% increase if you just take off ray tracing. But the main feature of these graphics cards had only one supporting game, Battlefield 5, and I know 2 more are supposed to come out. But I have a question. If you have the main feature of these graphics cards is ray tracing, and you only have 2 games that support this, it's really, really disappointing. Especially when your main feature, when it first released, had only like 40 FPS or 60 FPS using your main feature turned on, and now with the patch updates it's like 70 FPS or so, and still the main feature isn't, and it's only supported on 2 games. It's kind of a little disappointment, and I really would think that this next series, whatever the series after this 2000 series, maybe the 3000 series, is probably going to have a lot more support for ray tracing. I think it was really disappointing there was no support for it, and even Henson Jang, or sorry, I don't remember the guy's name off the bat, but the CEO of NVIDIA, he couldn't even he just said it just works. He really didn't have any reason why gamers should care, and I think that's kind of a lot of people's mentality on this is why should we care about ray tracing? It's not really. I mean, it looks cool, yeah, but there's a lot of other things like DLSS and stuff like that that really, are close. Not the same thing, but they're really close. And I think that there was just a lot of, it's just kind of useless. A bit kind of a disappointment, especially for the price. That's just the main point. The next up, I'm gonna go talk about the Verge. So, So first off, the Verge, I gotta actually give credit to the Verge, because if it wasn't for the Verge, I would not have made one of my best videos by far. So I'm not going to, I say thank you to the Verge for making such a interesting situation that I was able to exploit it and make a good video off of it, because I gotta admit that's probably the best video I made on this channel, and the views reflect that. If you're unfamiliar with that, I followed the Verge's guide to build a PC, and didn't end up so well. The stuff's still drying over there from all the thermal paste I had to put on it. But that was, I mean, disappointment for me, not so much, because I really got to exploit it for some views. It was really nice, and it was very fun to record. So it was interesting, and it was very fun to edit too. But I made a video off of that, and that was a fun video. But the Verge itself, long story short, A big news company thought it was a good idea to record someone building a computer for the first time. They dubbed it as a guide to how to build a $2,000 gaming PC. When you go through and you build it, since I'm the one that actually did that, you are missing a lot of important parts. For example, do you plug in, where do you plug in most of the GPU components? Or not GPU components, where do you plug in most of the GPU wires? Where do you plug in the additional graphics card slot? Where do you plug in the on-off switches? How do you do that? Where does the RAM go? Are the pads on the bottom of the power supply going to electrocute you if you put them in the wrong way? There's just a lot of things that I were wrong with that. And as I said, a disappointment in the sense that nobody saw this coming. And when it did, I think everybody in the tech community made a video about it. And, you know, just amazing that my video got almost 100,000 views, and probably will this next year. It's just, that's a pretty impressive view count, and by far I'm very proud of that video. I'm very proud that I was able to do something that was, you know, because when I said I was trying not to be mean, because I don't like being mean. That's not who I am. I really try to be nice to everybody. But when you do something wrong, how do you go through and do something and be like, hey, you're wrong, without taking it as being mean? I tried to be very unbiased and build the computer, and that was very, very fun. But that was the Verge disaster, and that was the biggest, one of the disappointments from the Verge in 2018. And then the last disappointment I have is kind of a similar situation to the NVIDIA situation, Intel's situation with the release of all their processors. Now, the 9000 series, okay, I get it. It's not that much of a disappointment in the sense that you still have support on the old motherboards. Okay, that's not that bad. As for, first off, talking about the i7, the top i7, the 9000, I think it's 9800K or 9700K. And 9700K has 8 cores and no hyper-threading. And I would think, especially as a lot of the gamers, especially since the i7 has always had hyper-threading, they just decided to throw it out the window. And not to mention, they keep it kind of expensive, really expensive. And then the 9900K, which was supposed to be what the i7 was, that everybody was really hyped and looking for, ended up coming out at $600. Like, just a disappointment, especially when AMD's been doing the 8-core 16-thread processors for a couple years now, and Intel's just getting into this game, and their first product is like, you could get a Ryzen 2700X for $300 with a cooler, a really nice RGB cooler, or you can get the 9900K, which is a slight bit higher clock speeds and stuff, and that's double the price. Is that really worth double the price? And so that was a big disappointment. I think a lot of people were really hyped up. Another disappointment was that the actual box that it comes in is a little interesting. I've seen some mixed things, like that people actually don't get the right box or something. There's been a lot of issues with the box. It's supposed to be like kind of like a soccer ball. It's an interesting box, but there's been a lot of people saying they're just not getting what they were told. That's another story. But it's basically just they released this product and it was way overpriced for what it was supposed to be. And so just kind of a big disappointment all around, because everyone was expecting an i7 with 8-core 16 threads, and what they got was an 8-core processor with no hyper-threading, and you have to pay at double the price just to get an extra 8 threads. It was a little disappointing. And that was the biggest disappointments in tech from this last year, in my opinion. I mean, there's plenty of other ones you can talk about, like, the graphics cards going down or starting up. Because I remember a year ago, the graphics cards were insanely priced. And I think that was a disappointment for a lot of people. And one final disappointment I just thought of is that when NVIDIA decided that they were going to stop production of the 10 series, they dropped the prices so low that they all sold out. And they gave us no warning when they stopped. You had to buy the next generation. There's no more new graphics cards, new 10 series graphics cards. And so a lot of people are now stuck in a situation where they can't buy the graphics card anymore, or what they wanted, like a 1080 Ti or something new. So this is going to be one of the other disappointments I can think of. But thank you very much for joining me this year. It's been a great year. Gotten a lot of subscribers. I appreciate it. And a lot of people that have really been following along, and I really do sincerely thank everybody for getting me this far, and I hope to see where we go in 2019. And yeah, thank you very much, guys. I really do mean it. It's been very fun, especially the Verge video. That was extremely fun, and a lot of people that are now watching probably came from that. So yeah, I gotta say thank you very much. Sincerely grateful. Really excited to see what happens in 2019. Got a lot of interesting stuff, and so I'm gonna be doing a separate video about my predictions, what I'm excited for, kind of like that, and I'll be releasing. What's today? So today's Sunday. I have a video today. Well, I'm recording a little bit early. So today's Sunday. Monday will be this video, and probably Wednesday will be my predictions for 2019. And I can't believe it's 2019 too. I just feel like yesterday it was 2018. So I hope to see you all around next year. And sincerely, Happy New Year's, and yeah, have a good night or morning or whatever time it is for you. Goodbye.